Hey y'all, I'm Hope, and today I'm wrapping up all the books that I read in March. I had a much lighter reading month this month than I had earlier this year because I spent a lot of time just kind of playing video games, doing some knitting. I recently bought a loom and I've started the process of putting that together. So I've just been kind of indulging in my other hobbies some more. Yeah, it was just nice to have some time to do some other things. And that being said, everything I read this month, I think I rated 4.5 or 5 stars. So not a lot of books read, but really high quality books read. So really honestly, it was a great reading month. And I think to start, let's just talk about these. I read volumes 3 and 4 of Way of the House Husband by Kosuke Ono. This is a series about this guy named Tatsu who used to be a legendary Yakuza, but now he's just a house husband. He's retired, he's looking out for his wife who is like a career woman, and he's just happy doing that. This is just a really fun series that's like little vignettes of things that happened to Tatsu and his wife and his friends across his days as a house husband. It's just like cheerful, funny, and a nice little palate cleanser between other things. And then I read Sorrowland by River Solomon, which I'm going to link the video where I talked about this up in the cards and down in the description below as well. But I read this for my Goodreads Choice Project. I think it's the only one I read this month for that. But I really loved it. I gave this one 5 stars, and this one follows Vern, who's this young woman who's escaped from a religious compound, and she's pregnant and gives birth in the woods, and she's trying to make a better life for her children, but her body is also undergoing a series of unexplained changes. So it's about her kind of dealing with all of that and trying to figure out what's going on and what she needs to do to protect her children and make sure that their life is better. I just really enjoyed Vern's journey, and I loved all of the characters in here. I think they're really lovely. There's a lot of really good support network characters for Vern, and I just loved all of them. I thought they were all very well written. So I would highly recommend this. I will say that this has got a lot of content warnings for police violence, racism, medical experimentation on Black people. That's a significant theme in here. Obviously there's a birth scene right at the beginning of the book, so there's that. So I would say if you're looking to read this book, maybe just check out the content warnings beforehand. But I think that this one, if you're not really squeamish about like body horror and stuff like that, I think this one is a really good one to pick up because I thought this was fascinating and I loved it so much that I read it from the library, and then I went and bought myself a copy so that I could reread it later on my own time. Then I read Strange Practice by Vivian Shaw, which is one I've been meaning to get to for quite a while now. But this one follows Dr. Greta Helsing, who is a doctor for supernaturals in London, one of 2. And she gets involved in a mystery when a friend of hers, one of her patients, calls her because this vampire has shown up on his doorstep, injured, bleeding from an injury. And he's like, I have no idea what's going on, can you come take care of him? And so in doing so, she kind of steps into this bigger conspiracy and ends up using all of her skills as a doctor and relying on her various friends who become involved in the mystery to help her figure out what's going on and prevent more of her patients from being injured or killed. So I thought this was a really fun story. This has everything in it that I love about urban fantasy, and it has a particularly fun like found family element. The group of people that come together to solve the mystery are kind of become this little found family, and a lot of the book is about their friendships and like the relationships between them and the ways that they rely on each other's strengths across the various like situations they find themselves in. So basically it's a book about competent people doing competent things, trying to deal with a bad situation, and I just really enjoyed that. And I particularly love it in urban fantasy because that's one of my favorite genres, so loved this one. The last book I finished in March is Mongrels by Stephen Graham Jones, which I literally finished on like the 31st. But this one follows a boy who is unnamed, but it follows him and his aunt and uncle as they're traveling across the US because his aunt and uncle are werewolves. So werewolves always have to be on the move. And it's about his kind of coming of age and learning about their family and deciding ultimately if he belongs on the run with them or if he should settle down elsewhere and make a life for himself in some other way. So I really enjoyed this, and I love the journey that you see this character go on. I think he starts out at like 7 or 8 years old at the beginning, and I think he's 16 at the end. But it's just a really fun story. It is definitely gory. Like if you're squeamish at all, I would maybe say stay away from this one. There's a lot of stuff around like eating raw meat and death of animals, and there's some medical stuff that's kind of gross. So I would say if you're squeamish, stay away from this one. If not, I cannot highly recommend this one enough because it's just a really good fun, emotional story. Like, it's just great. And I think this is one that's going to stick with me for a long time. I almost forgot. I also read Junk Shop Blues by Cole McCade. Can't believe I almost forgot that one because I loved it. This one is the second book in the Criminal Intention series. It's about detectives Malcolm Kalaji and Sung Jae-yoon, who end up working together to solve various mysteries in Baltimore. And in this one, they're trying to solve the murder of a wealthy nightclub owner. And it kind of takes them into the wealthier section of Baltimore. So I thought this was a really interesting story. It was very different from the first book. Like, the structure of the mystery was different, so I really appreciated that. But it still had the like really great dynamic between Malcolm Kalaji and Sung Jae-yoon. And I really like the two of them together. They're really cool. And yeah, I just really enjoyed this one. I don't have much more to say than that because I think if you're gonna read this one, I don't want to like ruin the mystery for you. But I just really enjoyed this one, and it's a nice, short, easy one I read in like a day and had a lot of fun with. So yeah. So these, plus Junk Shop Blues, are all of the books that I read in March, and I'm really happy about this stack because I gave everything here either 4.5 or 5 stars. But thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, I hope you'll consider giving this video a like and maybe even subscribing to see what comes next. I'm currently posting every Saturday, so there's more content coming soon, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.